Okay. All right.
So we don't.
It's time. Everybody gather around. Let's go. We're going to stupid town. Oh man. All right.
Teach our children.
Let me get the volume right.
So we don't teach our children anything. Everything that they learn is in response to either their interests or their questions. We have no curriculum. We have no school hours. We really just respond whenever they want to know something and do our best to make sure they really get it. And my big fear about Freeschooling was that if my kids only went towards what they were interested in, saving all of their real estate only for things they're interested in, not cramming it with anything necessary, I was concerned that they would never be interested in things like reading and writing and math. My son's 6, and it took some patience and not comparing myself to other moms, but this is his book. Look at this. Lamp, egg, jar, lion. This is him doing this by himself, copying down words from other places, asking us more. Same with addition. Mom, what's 7 plus 5? It will come at the right time. But if you do not like this idea of sending your kids away for 40 hours a week and then wondering why they have no energy to do anything else, if you are not into your kids conforming, trust that you can follow their interests and they will learn everything they need to learn, not what other people need them to learn. You're welcome.
To be very clear, this is not homeschooling. This is not homeschooling. Like, this is pretending to do homeschooling. This is like unschooling, I think is the term that they're calling it. Homeschooling, whether or not the person doing it is based or whether or not the person is doing it correctly, they're still trying to teach the kids stuff, right? I have met at least one person who has been homeschooled, and they told me that their parents had curriculum for them. They knew what the curriculum was, and they tried to get their kids to the point that they could pass the regional exams relative to their area, right? So like, for example, in New York, they have this thing called Regents tests for middle schoolers. And they have like all the old test banks on the internet. So if I was to homeschool, as an example, or anyone else was to homeschool, I think a good standard to have is like, can my kid pass the exams that kids in public school can pass? Is my kid able to do that? Like, is he able to do these simple math problems? Is he able to know these basic history questions? Okay, sorry about the noise. I don't know if anyone heard. That is not me farting, just to be very clear. That's not me. Do you guys remember when I was telling you that my apartment had flooding in it? Well, they're finally fixing the flooding damage. I unfortunately cannot tell them when to do it. So I think that's like a saw or something. It's not me. I don't fart like that. My farts are wet, so you know that it's not that. And they're pretty short. It's more like fireworks. Okay? So, yeah. Now you can admit you're tooting on stream. It's natural. Red theory, stop.
Nah, it's okay. You can admit you're tooting on stream. It's natural.
Denims, you're live. Turn off your husband's vibrator. Let me go turn off my boy wife's vibrator. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. Okay, I left it on again. The Sibian? Is that? I finally remembered the name of it. Fuck yes. All right.
So Squidward walking forts. K-E-K-W.
Exactly, precisely. 1 second. Finally, I only needed to become friends with like 4 sex workers to remember the name Sibian. Finally. It only took me 5 years to remember it. Who has the space for that? Can we agree just really quickly? Who has the space to put that? I don't. Anyways, 1 second. Wait. I didn't say thank you for subs, so I'm going to do that later. I was just prepping it so that I can actually get all the subs. Okay. All right. That's what the unfinished basement is for? Oh. Put it on your coffee table as a conversation piece. I mean, if it's clean, why not, right? Someone with a 401k can store one. Shut up and ride your Sibian is such a funny thing to say to a Karen IRL. Stop it. Stop. Back on topic. Okay, stop. It's a sex toy for anyone who doesn't know. Okay, that's what it is. Stop. Marianne, stop. Okay. All right. So let's get back to the video. So I personally was a gifted kid, which means I was really good at school, and then I got mental illness when I got older, which is great. And because of that, I got hundreds on all my exams and on all my classes and on all my coursework. I liked learning. I was a very nerdy kid. All right. And I also don't spend any time with children because they're gross and they sneeze on everything. And I don't have any friends who have kids. So why would I hang out with kids? I'm not Drake. And so when she was like, my kid is 6, look, he has a natural desire to learn. And she shows us this notebook.
In math. My son's 6, and it took some patience and not comparing myself to other moms, but this is his book. Look at this. Lamp, egg, jar.
So when I saw that, I was like, what are 6-year-olds supposed to be able to do? I don't remember. I remember getting 100 on every spelling test in elementary school. I remember being very proud of myself. I was like, look, I got hundreds on all of my tests. And I would save all of them because they made me feel strong and smart. And I felt so cool saving all of them. Now it's like not that cool. It's like, oh, she can spell excellent. Who cares? It's kind of like your favorite dinosaur. Nobody asks you about your favorite dinosaur anymore. No one's impressed anymore that you can spell excellent, right? But I loved school. And I just didn't remember. Like, I genuinely, I don't remember what it's like. What's your favorite dinosaur? I like pterodactyls, personally. I think they're cool. I want to be one. How old are first graders? So first graders are 6, right? 5-year-olds are kindergarten, I think. And I'm pretty sure kindergarten and first grade, you learn how to write sentences. Now, not great sentences. I'm pretty sure it's very simple sentences. Like, I want to go to the store today or something like that. Nothing crazy, no Shakespeare's in first grade, but you can do basic math. You can write basic sentences. Right? You should know all your letters. You should know the standardization on how to write. Maybe it looks like shit, but everybody's handwriting looks really bad when you're a kid. Okay. But at least they're in the lines correctly. Usually, right? That's classist, bro. Real. Real. Going to public school, fucking classist. So when I watched this initially, I was like, well, how is this bad? Like, how much are how much are 6-year-olds supposed to know? And then I looked at the replies and I was like, where is it? Okay, maybe it's the replies to a quote tweet on this that I saw that are not here because I think she's responding to all these, but a 6-year-old should be reading by now. The words they're writing look like they're written by a 3-year-old. A bunch of people that are talking about, I'm pretty sure my son at 6 was well beyond writing 4-letter words. There's literally nothing wrong with this. This is my 7-year-old's work this year. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know a lot about child development and where kids are supposed to be, like what markers they should be hitting at what ages. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, oh, that's bad. Oh, like that's when you compare William the Conqueror defeated King Harold of England at the Battle of Hastings. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Penmanship looks like shit. Fucking dumbass, fucking stupid ass kid can't even write well. But he's writing full sentences.
Anything. Preparing myself.
He's writing full sentences.
Egg. Jar.
Americans don't learn how to write in cursive. I don't know if it was like standardized New York education, but I had to learn cursive. I learned cursive and I learned typing in elementary school. And then I had more cursive in high school, but it was kind of like, honestly, low-key, she was so cunt. But I had this one teacher. She was my AP art history teacher. And she was such a hard ass, but I loved her because she was so neurotic and she was so type A. Like, she was so insane, and I kind of liked that about her. She was such a... she had a boy wife, is what I will say. Okay? That's the only way to describe it. And it's not Karen behavior, because Karen behavior is complaining for no reason. It was like, I am more powerful than everyone around me behavior, which is very different. Okay? Vector behavior? What is vector? But anyways, yeah, she was a cool ass teacher, and she was a huge hard ass, and she was very strict, and she ran her class like a fucking kingdom, dude. Okay. Vector from Despicable Me, Vector from Sonic. I don't know. I have no idea. She was the blueprint for me. Yeah, exactly. And she was like, I know it's not part of curriculum, but you guys are all learning cursive. I know it's not part of the curriculum for AP Art History, but I don't care. We're spending today doing cursive, and you guys are all doing cursive homeworks. And I was like, I already knew cursive at that point, so I was like, sure, I don't care. But there were kids in my class who didn't know cursive, and low-key, she kind of helped them out, though. Like, she actually, like, at the time, I'm sure everyone didn't like it, but she kind of ate, though, okay? She kind of ate. Real. We had a teacher who called the black girl a hard R in the middle of class in 3rd grade? Huh? Oh, man. Zai? Aunt Jam, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you. Anyways, anyways, moving on. She's a kick streamer now? Stop. Dude. Can you believe this? Can you believe that someone is allowed to abuse their child and neglect them like this? Can you chat? I haven't finished processing this video. And I'm pretty sure this is an instance of neglect, but no one will do anything unless someone actually calls, like CPS.
So we don't teach our children anything. Everything that they learn is in response to either their interests or their questions. We have no curriculum. We have no school hours. We really just respond whenever they want to know something and do our best to make sure they really get it. And my big fear about Freeschooling was that if my kids only went towards what they were interested in, saving all of their real estate only for things they're interested in, not cramming it with anything necessary, I was concerned that they would never be interested in things like reading and writing and math. My son's 6, and it took some patience and not comparing myself to other moms, but this is his book. Look at this. Lamp, egg, jar, lion. This is him doing this by...
You know the worst part about this? These type of people are the coolest people to be friends with because they're just like, they're like human specimens. It's like the type of person that I think normally would have been like a circus show. Like you would go to a circus and you'd be like, oh, look, you know, let's go see the whatever, the people that, whatever the fuck they're called, circus performers. So they're great to have as friends, right? Carnies, yeah, the pejorative. They're great people to have as friends because it's like, dude, you're so crazy. You just like live your life the way you want to live your life. That's crazy. It stops being funny when they have a kid. And they are now impacting other people's lives. Then it stops being funny. And they're usually really based people on a lot of different fronts. Like, I promise you, she is someone who thinks that, like, you should not be discriminated at a workplace or at an interview because of tattoos. You should be able to have as many tattoos as you want. It doesn't interfere with your ability to work a job. But because of how she acts, now everyone has to make fun of the tattoos. Or even smaller things like not abiding by cultural standards in some ways usually makes those people really cool to hang out with because they don't believe anyone should be abiding by any cultural standards, right? So like even something as small as like not wearing a bra. Like the unjustifiable hierarchy of having to wear a bra. Unacceptable, dude. Fucking unacceptable, all right? Unacceptable. And the people who are down to just exist in public and they don't give a shit about wearing one, it's like, damn, you're kind of cool, man. You're like, you don't give a shit that your nipples are looking at people? Damn, honestly, that's cool. But then they're also the type of people that are just, sometimes they're just insane. Sometimes they're just insane. So I was kind of hoping that maybe we would go to her page and then find out she was just joking. Right? So let's see.
Some people were concerned.
Also, some of you in chat have not had fun friends and it shows. Okay? Widen your friend group. Widen your friend pool. All right? Have some fucking weird friends. Your life will improve. It's fun. You're not even hurting them. You can be good friends with them. You can do good things for them. I'm not saying you go and like mock them and make fun of them. Okay? I'm saying it's fun to have some weird ass friends. I am the weird friend? Fucking based, dude. Fucking based. Can confirm exactly, Bats. It's fun, okay? It's fun to have someone that's a little weird. That's like, damn, your brain just works different, man. Doesn't it? It's like, you guys ever been friends with someone who's like in a poly relationship with like 7 people? And you're like, we live on a different planet. Like, how are you managing that? How? How are you managing 7 relationship? I don't. How are you not tired all the time? And they will always give you the funnest answers, like the coolest answers. It's always the fun. I'm telling you, expand your friend group. Make some friends that are just like, they don't agree with society and they're fully anarchists because they're some of the best friends. They're the type of person you can bring to any party and everyone will be like, dude, that was sick. You need to bring him or her around more often. They were sick, dude. Anyways, moving on.
about how I'm choosing to educate my kids. And I understand what that feels like because I'm also concerned about what the education system is doing for other kids. I'm concerned that being trained for 40 hours a week to do things that robots can do in the age of AI is just setting kids up for failure. I believe that the most successful people that I've studied and learned from all say that the ability to be creative and solve problems is the most necessary key to success, as well as loving learning. And I'm concerned that the school system doesn't offer enough opportunity for creativity, for creative problem solving. And I also don't feel like it instills a deep love of learning because the kids are having to prove that they're learning all the time. Additionally, I have some concerns about the way the public school system mirrors the prison system, and I don't see it as a good place for socializing because you're not allowed to talk in class, just in like the mess hall and in the yard. And I'm concerned that the long-term effects that I've seen from people that have experienced bullying and the narrative that they're not smart because they couldn't be good at every single thing, I've seen that be really damaging.
Do you see what I mean when I say that, like, you got to find the weirdos in the world because they're actually so cool until they're insane. Like, they're great to have around because sometimes they'll just spit and then they take the worst conclusion. And you're like, I agree with you on everything. Yeah. The school does not teach kids how to learn to love. Learning. You know what? The school doesn't meet everyone's needs. You know, school really does just like get you prepared to just sit in a fucking office for 40 hours a week. Like, I agree with all of that stuff. Yeah, that is an outdated system. And surely we can improve society a little bit and improve school a little bit. You stop teaching your kids entirely? You're crazy. No, what I meant was like, if they don't want to read this book at a first grade level, let them pick what book they want to read at a first grade level. I remember one thing I really hated as a kid was that I had to read books I didn't give a shit about. And there were other books that I cared about that I wanted to read, but I wasn't allowed to read those. So I had to read fucking Pride and Prejudice. And it's like, there are 100 other books that I'm way more interested in that are at the same reading level or higher that I would much rather read, but I can't read them because it's not part of my curriculum. Are you kidding me? That's what I mean when I say, like, the school education system is not good. It's not tailored to people's needs, and it doesn't teach you how to love learning. I was forced to read Mice and Men every year from 6th to 10th grade. I would explode. I had to read for my, I guess, colleges in America or universities in America. I didn't realize this until I was comparing it to other countries. But universities in America, usually your first year of classes is just like high school classes, essentially. I'm not sure how else to explain it. Just to make sure that you are up to date on your curriculum. Like, you have a very, like, high school level math class that you have to pass. That's very basic. It's like trig. And then you have like a high school reading and writing class just to make sure that you can just do the basics before you get into anything else. So my first year reading, writing classes, because we had to take them. It was part of the curriculum. You had to take it. I had to read fucking, what was it? Oh my God. The book about the kids on the island with the Lord of the Flies. I had to read Lord of the Flies for my college class, and I had to take that college class because I didn't take AP English. So I had to take that class, and everybody has to take those classes. Like, there's no way around it. And then you get to take actual writing classes and actual reading classes where you read things that are actually fun and interesting. And I remember reading Lord of the Flies in college, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding? This is so stupid. This is dumb. That's high school level, honestly? Yeah. It's high school level. And to all the people being like, those are remedial classes. I had straight A's. I had straight A's. Okay? I had straight A's and I took AP classes. I just didn't take AP English. And because I didn't take AP English, I had to take that class. You have to read that. At least for standardized CUNY schools in New York, it's not a remedial class. They just force you to do it. It's like a basic, like, I don't know about you guys, but I also had a basic biology class as well that I had to take. And it was like, here's what a litmus test is. And I'm like, I already learned all. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It is what it is. What is AP? AP is advanced placement. Basically, you take a college level course in high school. And if you do well on the AP exam, you don't have to take that class in college. That's it. That's the simple. But it's like the first semester of college is just like making sure that you passed high school, that you actually passed high school, which is annoying. Also, AP exams are like 5 times harder than the actual college class. Yeah. Yeah. They were way harder. AP exams were way harder than a college class were. Like, I was in all honors classes, chat. It was not remedial. And I was really mad about it. I was like, what do you mean I'm in college reading fucking Catcher in the Rye and Lord of the Flies? I already read these books, first of all. Second of all, this is not college level reading. This is fucking stupid. I can't even believe it. So I agree with you. I agree with you, lady. Mommy Onami. I agree with you. Schooling, standardized schooling needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work. Okay? The solution is not to just stop teaching your kid. That's not the solution. What? What? There's nothing to reform if there's no form? Yeah.
People and get in their way of succeeding. So the number one priority for us is to find what our kids love and help to foster that, and to show them by example as early as possible that you can make a career out of whatever it is that you love. And if a robot does it, you don't necessarily have to learn it. And for us, that's where our journey of freedom as parents begins. And I love the life that we've been able to create for our kids. And I think that you could really love a life like this too. So thank you.
The best is when you had friends that messed around in high school, and then when you're in level 200 college courses, they test it into Math 30 and they get to pay for middle school level courses in college. Yeah. 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 Dude, what in the hippie? What the fuck? It is not an unjustifiable hierarchy to get your kid to be able to read and write at an early age. It is not authoritarian to teach your kid how to do basic science or math. Like, I agree that you should foster kids' desires, and like what they want to do should be what they want to do. Like, I feel like I had to take a bunch of music classes and I didn't want to take music classes. I don't know if anyone else had this experience where I was like, taking the first one was cool because I got to like experience something that I'd never experienced before. And then after doing it, I was like, I like art more. I like drawing. I like painting. I like this creative venture instead. I don't really like instruments that much. I want to learn one, but it's not as, I preferred listening to music than making music, for sure. But I really like making art. That's really fun for me. I think that's good. I don't think forcing kids to do things they don't want to do is a good idea. And if you give like a kid a bunch of instruments and they're like, I just don't want to play any instruments, I kind of am enjoying writing, then just let them do writing. Great. You should foster your kids' natural desires. And if they want to do certain things, you should give them ways to do those certain things. But
I had a super messed up childhood. I grew up in a doomsday PEDO-SEX cult and barely escaped with my life when I was 13. And all things considered, I felt like I was doing pretty good. Like, I had some rage issues. There were abuse patterns that seemed to follow me everywhere I went. I was addicted to like everything you could be addicted to. But, you know, for the most part, I felt like I was doing pretty good. But as I got older, people were like, oh, you should go to therapy and work some of this stuff out. And I was like, everyone that went to therapy, including me, I went in feeling bad. I didn't know when it was going to end. I left crying. And you just keep showing up to this thing infinitely? Like, I could tell you when is it done? I could tell you a new traumatic story every single time I sit down and talk about it. And I'm going to leave crying and go back to work? Like, that doesn't work. And then when I got into the spiritual community, and then it was like, inner child work, you really got to do it. But these people have fucking pictures of themselves as a baby, as a background on their phone for like the rest of their life.
So I want to talk about therapy really quickly. Wait, I want to talk about a couple things. Two things. Number one, I think a lot of this has to do with bad therapists and people's experience with bad therapists, in the same way that people have bad experiences with just like normal doctors. Like, a lot of women hate going to the gynecologist, not because they don't want their pussy checked, but because they've had a lot of bad gynecologists that have refused to like listen to them. And it's like, hey, I'm feeling kind of weird about this. It's fine. It's normal. It's like, anyways, open your pussy wide. We got the calipers out. It's like, oh, okay, I guess. All right. Yeah, you're good. No cancer. Get the fuck out of my office. It's like, well, okay, I guess. I feel like I just went through like a fast food drive-through. Like, I don't really feel like I was given the care and love for the, let me see, $2,000 I just spent. Okay, I guess. Yeah, that's a pussy, all right. What the fuck did I just join into? You know. Anyways, I don't know what the male equivalent is. I don't know, like, is there a big difference between bad prostate exams and good ones? I don't know. I haven't had my butthole checked by a doctor. Is there a difference? Have you guys experienced a difference at all? Can I get some fucking genuine answers? No cuddling in the bad one. Can I get some real answers? Is there a difference? It's only good if the doctor calls you a gay boy after. Stop! You guys are children. Okay, you guys are fucking children. My bad. My bad. Sorry. My bad. Anyways, I assume I had one that just yoinked his finger out. I was like, Jesus, man, warn me first. Oh. So there's actually a difference. Oh, damn. That sucks. Tough. Anyways, I think all of us can see very easily the difference between a good doctor and a bad doctor. When it comes to our physical bodies, I think it's a lot harder to see what a good doctor or a bad doctor looks like when it comes to things like therapy. Because when it comes to therapy, it's like, well, I don't know shit about this. I don't know what's supposed to help me and what's not supposed to help me. I think I'll know when I see something I really don't like, but it's kind of hard to see if you have a good therapist that's actually helping you or just kind of doing nothing, or God forbid, making your life worse. And I feel like if you have a bad therapist, and I feel like I've met a lot of people who've had a bad therapist, your therapist just spends the entire session talking about your trauma and never any time on how you can improve your life in meaningful ways. Because I've seen a lot of people that have talked about their individual experiences with therapy and saying like, the therapist just, I've spent so many sessions with my therapist just talking about like childhood trauma. And I don't really feel, I feel like it's been so much time and I don't feel like my life has gone any better. And it's like, yeah, there's only so much processing you can do before you have to start actually doing other stuff, right? How to like change the things that are causing you to not live your best life, essentially, right? Oh, that's thing. Thank you for the 30, or sorry, for the 10 months. Thank you. But with that in mind, the solution is not that therapy is bad. The solution is that you need to spend equal amounts of time talking to your therapist about the fact that you are unhappy with how you currently are in life and how you want to improve that. And good therapists will help guide you in that direction and be like, well, how is your day-to-day doing? Like, what are you thinking about? Like, how are you? Like, I feel like my psychiatrist, for example, is very good at trying to help me achieve my goals. And I feel like I have a positive feedback loop when I do good things because I get to tell my psychiatrist, like, yeah, I just did this. Yeah, I just did this. And then my psychiatrist could be like, dude, you're fucking killing it. Sick. Is there anything that's like, anything you want to improve on? Like, how's this in life? It's like, oh, I'm really bad at that. And it's like, okay, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? It's like, oh, shit, okay. All right, okay. And that's been pretty nice, right? My therapist hardly talks the whole call and asks the same generic question. Doesn't help at all. Yeah. 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 Psychiatrists are essentially the mental health equivalent of a pharmacist, you know? I mean, bad psychiatrists are. So this is another common misconception, right? Which is that psychiatrists exist only to fulfill prescriptions. But that's not. That's what a nurse practitioner is. A good psychiatrist, and I pay cash because my insurance doesn't give me good doctors. And I meet them once a month. And we have like a 30-minute session. So it's not that long. But my psychiatrist isn't just there to prescribe me things. My psychiatrist is there to like talk to me and ask me what life is like, and actively is like, yeah, my goal is that you can live life without any medication. That is the goal. The goal is to have you not need any meds. Now, some people will still need medication, and that's fine, and that's totally normal. But the less meds you're taking, the better, because it's just less work. It's less going to the pharmacist. It's less running out of your drugs. It's less of a hassle for when you're not on them. So if you can do that without any, great. That would be the ideal. But if you can't, that's also fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with not needing prescriptions. So basically my point is, I feel like good psychiatrists actually listen to you and actually care about your opinion and are actually trying to help you. And there are bad psychiatrists that are like, okay, what meds do you need? Yeah, okay. How's life? You good? Okay, great. Get the fuck out. So, the largest online psych doctor org just got busted for overprescribing Adderall during the pandemic. Ooh. Yeah, that's bad. I met a psychiatrist who just gets me refill. We don't have a relationship. Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, I know some people who have a psychiatrist, but it's more of like a nurse practitioner, which is someone who's licensed to give out prescriptions. But they can do more than that. Yeah, this is psychiatrists are licensed to prescribe medication. Psychologists are licensed and trained in talk therapy. A psychiatrist can also be a psychologist. Precisely. It's just that psychiatrists can also prescribe you stuff. And also bad psychiatrists will just label you as like, yeah, drug seeking. I had a friend who told me she got diagnosed as a kid. She got diagnosed with ADHD when she was a kid, and she's been taking, I think she said, was it Ritalin? I don't remember. She's taking some Adderall drug for a very long time. And she got a new psychiatrist because she moved, and she was like, yeah, I run out of my prescription, and you know, life is kind of hard without it. And I've had it for 15 years. And it makes a huge difference for my life. And the doctor was like, I don't like that you came in here and immediately asked for a prescription. You must be drug seeking. I cannot imagine what that would be like. Oh my God. What are we supposed to do if we can't afford this kind of help, though? I mean, it's one of those things that, like, I'll be very honest with you guys, okay? Actually, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I am at a point where my mental health is something that I can actually pay for, which is, I am very lucky to be able to do. But to be very honest with all of you, I decided that I would make the budget for this, even if I can get I just need to get one good doctor. And I pay right now $300 cash a month, and I just pretend like it's part of my rent. Because it's the service and the quality that I get is so worthwhile. And technically, I'm allowed to have an hour-long session with my doctor. But I usually only have 30-minute sessions because I just don't need more time. So I would say it's expensive, but it's not so expensive that it's out of reach. Like $300 a month is, you might have to budget stuff. But I would say that it's not so much. The people who are doing more than like once a month is like, those people are living really well. But if you have that, you might be able to find a good doctor, to be honest. Brain rent is essentially, yeah. I would just recommend that if you decide that your mental health is important enough for this and that you have the ability to pay something like $300 a month, dude, just find a doctor. Just find a doctor with like 5-star reviews on Google. And just pay cash. Just bite the bullet and accept that you won't get a good doctor unless you pay cash. And I just see it as like kind of an investment, I guess, into my own brain being happy, which I think is important. Oh, Wormy. Wormy. It's worth it? I think it is. I think it is. When I was going every week, I was spending $500 a month. I now no longer want to Minecraft myself, so it was worth it. Yeah, and it's depending on who it is, right? Usually, when I started with my therapist, I was spending $800 a month. Thankfully, I qualified for sliding scale, so now it's only $300 a month. I feel like $300 a month, it's still expensive, but it's like doable. Wormy. Wormy. So yeah. Thank you for paying your cat tax. Yeah, of course. This is crazy, though. My site gave me an official ADHD test, which involved a lot of game-like puzzles and such, and I warned them that often games are one of the only things to hold my attention, and it might skew the results. I was diagnosed with MDD instead. My therapist constantly asked me why the hell they don't think I have ADHD. I hate it here. That sucks. That actually sucks. That's so terrible for you. Yeah, the solution to being in like a cult and having a bunch of bad experiences with therapy and stuff is not to stop teaching your kid, man. This is crazy. This is really crazy.
I'm not trying to be defined with what happened to me in my childhood. And my biggest issue with both of these things was that there wasn't a start and end date to this inner child work. Now, there's 7 core traumas every single person gets. If you
It's like the 7 Dragon Balls.
Clear these 7 traumas, then you are done with inner child work. You can move on with your life. But if you don't know what these are, you're going to be sitting in ceremony or in therapist's office forever and wondering why you're still not getting results.
What are
This
they?
is what I do. Nobody does it better than me because nobody cares more than me. And I have a lot more free stuff on this coming your way. Follow me. Don't lose me. You'll only...
I need to know what the 7 what are the 7 core traumas? Scott Pilgrim versus the 7 core trauma. I guess we have to pay for her course first to find out.
Wednesday's my favorite.
Oh my God. These poor kids, dude. These fucking poor kids, man. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I would be so mad for the rest of my life knowing that my parents just didn't teach me shit. But I will say, off that post was one really good post from like my favorite misandrist. My favorite woman hater, or sorry, man hater. I love her account. She's so crazy. This bitch is insane. But she was spitting when she tweeted this out. One sec. She kind of did pinpoint like conservative men perfectly, by the way. When men on here complain that boys are being oppressed in schools because they're being forced to sit down, pay attention, and participate, this is what they're asking our schools to look like. Directionless nonsense. A first grader writing random 3-letter words in a notebook once every couple days when the mood so strikes him. And accompanying applause from all the adults in the room. This is surely how we make America great again, by catering to every whim of male children because it's mean and pointless to make them learn how to read and write. Like, actually, she ate. Wait. Wait, she like actually ate. Every single conservative that's like, boys aren't meant to be sitting in school. They're just not the same as girls. They just don't do well in the same way as girls. And that's why girls perform better. That's why. And it's like, is this what you want? Is this what you want? You want kids to not be forced to sit in class and sit in and learn things even if they don't necessarily want to learn them? Can we improve the education system so the kids are actually having fun while they're doing it? Of course. But like, we don't When did this conservative meta start? How did I miss that? You haven't seen like usually when people talk about how girls perform better in elementary school, middle school, high school, or even college, and they graduate more and get better grades, there's always like this slew of conservative men that are like insistent on non-gender equality. I think it's just it's a very comforting idea that your ideology means that you're better. It's kind of like being a Nazi. It's a nice way of living for some people because they get to live in this delusion that they are better innately than you because of their skin color. It's a comforting ideology that you are somehow greater than the people around you.
It's switched to force boys to go to school, college, and get a job. Men are biologically driven to stay home, play the job games, and be stinky.
Yeah. But anyways, the solution is just to have recess or a place to get the energy out, not homeschooling. Yeah, there's just a lot of conservatives that like to talk about that and like to talk about how you just don't understand. Girls are only outperforming boys in school, not because boys are dumb or because we socialize them to be dumb. It's because boys aren't meant to be sitting in a classroom like that. They just can't sit still. That's why it's just innately, they just can't sit still. It's like, grow up? Tell your kid to grow the fuck up. What? Excuse me. Boys are meant to be working the fields or in a mine. I dated a homeschool girl years ago. When I asked how she did her learning, she was just like, oh, we didn't. I see, because girls are doing better in school. It has to be some other explanation. Yeah. Oh man, I love this Twitter user. She's so sexist. It's so fucked up. Like, look at the type of shit she posts. She's such a specimen. Nothing is more damning of a condemnation of men than this image. They share it proudly because this is how far they have fallen. A single chair because he either doesn't expect company or doesn't care for any company that may join him. A loser, a degenerate. You pretend to be happy that you live like a heroin addict. You are dying alone. No enrichment, no enjoyment. No color, no life, no energy, no real energy whatsoever, or activity. You are the walking dead. You long for death. You fill your days with the soma that is a television screen, and you long for time to pass as quickly as possible so that you can get to the end, to return to pre-consciousness, womb, slumber. You have sexual fantasies about your mother. You barely move. You accomplish nothing. You were disassociated. You only know the simulated life of a video game because you are barely alive, barely a person. You are not ensouled. Why are you even still here? Women are right to reject you. You're not even disgusting. You're just nothing at all. Dude, she's just so crazy. Women hate how little it takes for us to be happy. No, women hate that you're the walking dead. Playing video games all day and having no friends isn't happiness. It's a distraction from your suicidal ideation. Like, dude, she's so sexist. She hates men so much, but she kind of eats when she eats. I can't tell if it's a bit. I mean, no, it's not. It's definitely not. I think she is what's called pink-pilled. And pink-pilled is like the ideology that from the way that she describes it, no, I'm not farting again. That's the construction that's taking place. Stop. I can't endorse her because she's a TERF. Obviously, someone who believes that things are innate in men and women is a TERF, and she's a TERF. So I don't like her. And she's also very sexist against men, so I don't like her. But I like her in the way that I like Alex Jones. Like, you're so crazy. You're like insane. You're totally insane. I'm going to keep watching and eating popcorn though. Is that okay? Is that okay with you guys for me to like an Alex Jones type of person, to enjoy the spectacle? That's just it's anyways, her prose is on point though. She does have amazing prose. It's the same reason that people like Alex Jones. He just has such a way with words, right? It's just, she just has a way. But anyways, she's like pink pilled, which means like women are the best ever. And you as a woman, your main prerogative should be to benefit your life at the cost of men around you. And that it is the natural thing to do, and that men will be happier in that worldview as well. That at the end of the day, what men want is a woman that is pretty, that is easy to talk to, that wants the same things that he wants, and is relatively agreeable. And so if that's what men want, then the men who deserve to have it, aka the men who make money in her worldview, are the men who should have it. And if you are disagreeing, or you think that this is not how people want to live, you're lying. That's her perspective or her worldview, which I gotta respect how insane it is, right? Because nothing is that black and white, but you insist that it is. Female red pilling, basically, yes. It's just incel ideology, but woke. Precisely. Exactly. It's incel ideology, but for like women. It's like, this is how men and women are. And you need to accept that these are the evils of men, and you should take it. You should take advantage of it. Well, not woke since they're a TERF. I think woke was being used in a slightly different way. Femcel red pill, yeah. Basically saying everything the incels say is true, but it's based, correct. Which, sorry that I enjoy female Alex Jones on my Twitter page. I'm sorry. I don't endorse her. I don't think what she is saying or doing is right. But she's very entertaining when she does it, and I like to laugh a little, okay? That's my crime. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? Alexa Jones. Precisely. Precisely. I also like anyone that can make a lot of people mad on the internet by saying relatively harmless stuff. Saying like, you live in this place and you're a fucking loser. It's like, damn, whoa, that's really harsh. That's crazy. Okay, lady. But people will respond to her and they'll be mad and they'll be like, you know what? Well, I'm actually very happy. Fuck you. It's like, why are you taking her seriously? It's like responding to Andrew Tate in a serious way. It's like, that's not the guy you respond to in a serious way. That's the guy you're like, this guy's fucking weird.